Hello and welcome, my lovelies. This is Ms. Sara Bastioni with you today. We're going to be working on Unit 5, Lessons 1 and 2. Our topic of the day is holidays. So when I say holidays, I want you to close your eyes and think about the feast vacation or your summer vacation and think about the amazing places you travel to. Let's get started. We're going to be reading a description of a holiday and an advertisement for learning English. We will write an advertisement for a holiday and an email about a holiday. We will listen to a conversation about a holiday, a discussion about a day out, and we will describe a place, talking about the holiday and responding to news. For language, we're going to be learning the past simple tense and grammar, and our values are respect for this unit, along with our issues are environmental awareness. Now, I want you to work in pairs and find and number these things in the photo. Can you finish before your partner? So I want you to sit down with a partner, share together, and try to find these things in the photo. So they are beach, jungle, sea, cave, lake, waterfall, desert, mountain, forest, and river. They are all natural places. So let's get started. Number 1 is, of course, a cave, okay? And number 2 is the sea. Number 3 is the beach. Now, on the right-hand side, number 4 is the desert. Number 5 is definitely the forest because of the very high trees you can see. And number 6 is the lake. And number 7 is the jungle. Number 8 is the waterfall. Number 9 is the mountain. And number 10 is the river. Now we're going to move on to our research. How many countries is the Sahara Desert in? Now the answer is the Sahara Desert is in 11 countries, which are Algeria, Chad, Egypt, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Morocco, Niger, Western Sahara, Sudan, and Tunisia. Thank you guys. Let's move on to our vocabulary section. We're going to write the words from the quiz in the correct place. Okay, so we have water, sand, trees, and rock. Basically, we're going to categorize or divide the words according to whether they are water, sand, trees, or rock. Let's get started together. Of course, the parts that are water are the sea, lake, waterfall, and river. As for the sand, we'll find it in the desert and the beach. Trees can be found in the forest or the jungle. And last but not least, we find rocks with caves and mountains. Now, I'd like you to work in groups, find a partner at home or a friend to search for examples of these places. Jara Cave is in the desert in Egypt. So this is a very famous cave in Egypt, and I want you to search for an example of another cave or another natural place. You can look it up through the internet. Now we're going to move on to our listening section, okay? Let's listen together to Taha and his sister playing a game and try to guess the places.
Guess where I am, Sarah? I'm in a place where there are a lot of trees. Are there monkeys in the trees? No, it's very dark and quiet. My turn. I'm in a place with a lot of sand. I know, you're in the desert. No, I'm not. There isn't any water in the desert. There's a lot of water in my place. Now, I'm in a dark place. When I speak, I can hear my words again and again. Listen. Hello!
Now, I'd like you to rewind and listen one more time to be able to guess the places. Let's check together. Now, can you say the places that were mentioned? The first one is, of course, the forest. The second one is, of course, the beach. And the third one is, of course, the cave. That's where you would find an echo if you call out someone's name. Now we're going to think of some more places and continue playing this game with your partner. Now I'd like you to talk about the places on page 44. Where would you like to go and why? Choose your favorite spot out of those places and write down or talk to a friend or a family member on where you want to go and why. Then answer to this question. What can you do or see there? If you go to that beautiful place, what would you do there or what would you see there? Let's read the speech bubble. I'd like to go to the beach. You can swim in the sea or go in the cave. Now we're going to move on to lesson 2. Look at the photos in exercise 3. Do you know where these places are? Look at them carefully and guess where these places are. You can write your answers down. Which activities can you see in the photos? So we have a lot of written activities such as climbing a mountain, eating delicious food, going into a cave, or even having a picnic, enjoying a meal together, or making a sand castle, playing a game or games, and riding a bike, along with seeing a camel or sleeping in a tent, swimming in a lake, and visiting a family. So, tell me, which of these activities can you see in the pictures? Look and read. Match the photos with the description. Now, for 1A, it's ride a bike. As for 1B, it is have a picnic and eat delicious food. 2A is, of course, a swim in the lake. How do we know that it's a lake? Because it's shallow water. It is not deep like the sea. And 2B is to see a camel or sleep in a tent. 3A is, of course, to make a sand castle, and that will probably be at the beach. And last but not least, 3B is go in a cave. Good job, guys. You did an awesome job. If you still struggle, you can rewind and listen one more time. Now, I'd like you to match the photos with the description below. My holiday photos. Last summer, when the weather was hot, we went to the beach near my home in Hurghada. Maryam made this sand castle. There was a cave in the rocks. But Maryam didn't want to go into the cave because she was frightened. In October, we visited my uncle, aunt, and cousins in Cairo. We had a picnic in Al-Azhar Park. We ate delicious food. Then we played games and Ali rode his bike. When I was 8, we went to Siwa. We swam in the lake and climbed the mountain. We saw camels and slept in a tent in the desert. It was my favorite holiday. So, for the first picture, it was summertime and it was at the beach near Hurghada. Okay, so which picture do you think it is? Of course, it is pictures 3A and 3B. That's where you would probably go if you travel to Hurghada. You can see a cave and you can go to the beach. Now, for number 2, that was in October and it was in Cairo and they went to Al-Azhar Park. So maybe they were having a picnic. So it is pictures 1A and 1B. You can ride a bike and you can have a picnic. As for number 3, going to Siwa and swimming in a lake and climbing a mountain will be pictures 2A and 2B, which is the river photo and the camels with the tents. Good job, guys. Now I want you to read the text again and circle the correct words. The beach was or wasn't far from Sayed's home. Of course, the beach wasn't far from Sayed's home. Now let's read number 2. Sayed and Maryam went or didn't go into the cave. Of course, they didn't go into the cave. Number 3. Sayed's uncle and aunt were or weren't in Cairo with them. They were in Cairo with them. Number 4. Sayed swam or didn't swim in the lake at Siwa. Of course, they swam in the lake at Siwa because the water there is beautiful. It's very good for your skin. Number 5. There were or weren't camels in the desert. Of course, there were camels in the desert. Now, let's jump to the language section. We're going to read and complete the table. The past simple tense to be. So we have statements in the positive or affirmative and statements in the negative. If we look at the statements in the positive or affirmative, we can read Maryam was frightened of the cave. The negative is I wasn't frightened of the cave, or Maryam wasn't frightened of the cave. Now, let's read the second example. There were camels in the desert. And the negative will be there weren't any cars on the beach, or there weren't any camels in the desert this time. Now, I want you to fill in the blanks for the regular verbs, negative statements, and the irregular verbs and their negative statements. So, the statements are climbed, and the negative is didn't climb. Also, played, didn't, it should be didn't play. And the irregular verbs for number 2, blank, didn't swim, which is did not swim. And number 3, it will be didn't sleep because it's in the negative. Good job, guys. So, when do we use the past simple tense? We use the past simple tense when we speak about something that happened in the past and is finished. It is not being done anymore. Now, I want you to find and underline the past simple form of these verbs in the holiday description in exercise 3. The words in the word box are have, make, ride, and see. So say if they are regular or irregular. Of course, the regular ones are basically visit. The irregular are have, make, ride, and see. Now, I want you to write the past simple negative forms of the verb. Didn't have, didn't make, didn't ride, didn't see, and didn't visit. Good job, guys. You can always go back to the grammar table to check. Now, I want you to work in pairs to use the verbs in exercise 6 and make sentences about your holidays. So you can say, I like to have a tan on the beach. Or, I like to ride the camel when I go to the desert. You can say, I like to visit Al-Azhar Park to have a picnic and ride a bike. Now, for our exit slip today, I'd like you to write 2 sentences about a nice place you went to for holiday. Make sure you use the past simple tense. Thank you, guys. That's a wrap. You did an awesome job today. Have a wonderful day ahead. Goodbye.